Yeah.
And also about the darkness felt by the judiciary, a very important topic nowadays because of arresting so many people by the police under the guise of UPA or some other act. For that, I will speak about for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Is it different from National Security Act?
UPA is different, sir.
Acha.
And a decision has been given by the. I will explain, sir. Everything I will explain.
Please, please.
అమ్మా శ్రీష గారు మీరేం జాయిన్ కాలేదేంటి? కాదమ్మా, వైష్ణవి జాయిన్ అయ్యింది, వస్తుంది, మీరు జాయిన్ కాండి, ఆల్రెడీగా ఉన్నారు లేదా? కాదమ్మా, అది లేకపోతే మన దాంట్లో జాయిన్ కాండి, మంది కూడా ఉంది కదా, రెండు చెప్పే కదా, రెండు. అది అయిపోయిందమ్మా, సాంస్క్రిట్ క్లాస్ అయిపోయింది. ఇప్పుడు నౌ ఐఎమ్ గివింగ్ లెక్చర్ టు దెమ్ ఆల్సో. ఓకే. My supreme namaskarams to all of you who are the elders and best wishes to all the youngsters. We have the Constitution of India 1950, which was made as the law by passing it in the Constituted Assembly on 26th day of November 1949, by adopting, enacting and giving it to ourselves. In it, the most important rights every citizen got are fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are part 3 of the Constitution of India. Part 3 of the Constitution of India defines and deals with fundamental rights of a citizen of this country. First 2 articles, Article 12 and 13, they deal with generally by speaking about what is state and what laws are inconsistent and other aspects. We'll have a reference about Article 12 and 13, and thereafter we'll go for the other important articles, and especially about right to life under Article 21 and the present scenario of the arrests and not granting bails by the courts, and people are criticizing the judiciary also. It is very important. So please first understand about what is the definition of a state. Fundamental rights, Article 12 says, state includes, for the purposes of Part 3, the government and Parliament of India. So, the government and Parliament of India and the government and the legislature of each states and all local or other authorities within the territory of India are under the control of the government of India. They all state. They all state. So, state has to implement the fundamental rights. They cannot violate the fundamental rights. So, we know now what is state. State includes, for the purpose of fundamental rights of a citizen as provided, as enshrined in Part 3, the government and Parliament of India. It refers to central government and Parliament of India. And then in respect of the state governments, the government and the legislature of each of the states. Not only this, it also includes all local or other authorities within the territory of India. If any local or other authority are created and functioning within the territory of India, then they all state. Another important definition of the state is under the control of the government of India. Suppose if the central government makes an authority which is under the control of the government of India, that is central government, and then that particular authority or a body violates the fundamental rights, you can claim that it is also part of state. It can't do it because Article 12 says if any authority is under the control of the government of India, then that is also state. Certain authorities are created by controlling financially or otherwise by the central government of India, but they claim that they are independent authorities and the central government has nothing to do with it. And that particular authority, if violates the fundamental rights, the citizen cannot move the Supreme Court. This way, several authorities which are created or controlled by the government of India have been claiming in courts, stating that it is not state. But important aspect is we have to understand about whether a particular authority is under the control of government of India or not by observing and seeing and understanding various principles of law announced by the Supreme Court of India for deciding a particular authority is state or not is whether it is controlled and managed, whether latently or patently controlled authorities or not, we have to see. If it is so, then we can say it is state. Then we have now understood Article 12 about the definition of the state. Then we will see now what laws are made void by the Constitution under Article 13. Various laws are made void by the Constitution of India under this Article 13 in order to do justice to the parties and achieve the goals enshrined in the preamble of the Constitution. What are those laws? First, Article 13(1) says, all laws in force in the territory of India, all laws, whatever laws are there in the territory of India prior to the commencement of the Constitution, there it is speaking, all laws in force in the territory of India immediately before the commencement of this Constitution, whatever laws that were there by the date of establishing or passing this Constitution or before the commencement of this Constitution, insofar as they are inconsistent with the provisions of this part. If they are inconsistent with the provisions of any part of the Part 3, which deals with fundamental rights, then to the extent of such inconsistency, it is void. This is important. You have to look into the particular law that is made by the Parliament or any authority which were there in force in the territory of India prior to the commencement of the Constitution, and see any part of it is inconsistent with the Constitution in respect of fundamental rights enshrined in Part 3 of the Constitution, then to that extent or to such extent of such inconsistency, it is void. That is Article 13(1). Then Article 13(2) says, this is very important. The state shall not make any law which takes away or abridges the rights conferred by this part. If any right is conferred by Part 3 by way of fundamental rights, then the state shall not make any law which takes away or abridges that right. And if any law is made in contravention of this class, shall then to the extent of the controversy be void. So you have to understand that not only all the laws that were there prior to the commencement of the Constitution, but also if any law is made subsequent to commencement of the Constitution, then all those laws which are inconsistent or in contravention of Part 3 fundamental rights, then to the extent they are void. Then in this article, unless the contest or otherwise requires, there is a definition about what is law. Law includes any ordinance, order, bylaw, rule, regulation, notification, custom, or usage having in the territory of India the force of law. You have to see whether the force of law is there for that particular ordinance, order, bylaw, rule, or regulation, notification, custom, or usage. Then, if the force of law is there and it is in the territory of India being implemented, all of them, including notifications, customs, or usages, they are all considered to be law for the purpose of Article 13. Likewise, laws in force, it says clearly, if any law is made prior to the commencement of this Constitution and not previously repealed, notwithstanding that any such law or any part thereof may not be then in operation either at all or in particular areas, then also that is considered that the laws in force. So what we have to see is if a law is made or not. If it is made and not previously repealed, irrespective of whether that law is in force or not, or being used or not, it is considered for the purpose of this particular article that the said law is in force. So Article 13, Clause 3 clearly says what is law and also what laws are in force. If anybody is having a doubt, then they have to look into this particular Article 13.3 in order to understand whether a particular law is law as per Article 13.3 for the purpose of implementing it when it is violated the fundamental rights which are part of Part 3. Then whether a particular law is in force or not also can be considered by understanding this particular Article 13, Clause 3. Another important is one clause is added in 1971, which is Article 13.4. It says, nothing in this article shall apply to any amendment of this Constitution made under Article 68. So, if any law is made, if that law is struck down, considering that it is inconsistent with the provisions of Part 3, that is fundamental rights, then if it is struck down, afterwards, if there is any amendment that is made under Article 368 in respect of that law or any part of that law or any part of the Constitution, then that particular amendment of the Constitution made if under Article 368, then that doesn't come for the purpose of consideration under Article 13 in order to consider whether that amendment is in violative of or in contravention of the fundamental rights or not. So with this, we have understood what is state and what are the laws and how we consider about the inconsistency and also about the derogation of fundamental rights or in contravention of the fundamental rights. Now we deal with various other fundamental rights and understand the same. Right to equality is defined or explained from Article 14 to 18. Then right to freedom is explained from Article 19 to Article 22. Right to equality we understood or we discussed previously. It is about states' duty not to deny any person equality before the law or equal protection of the laws within the territory of India. We can say all are equals. This is the purport of Article 14. Then certain acts are prohibited. That is prohibition of discrimination on grounds of religion, race, custom, caste, sex or place of birth. So you can't do any discrimination basing on the religion or on the ground of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth for enjoying of fundamental rights by the citizens. If while enjoying those rights, if anybody is discriminated on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth, particularly when access to shops, public restaurants, or use of wells, tanks, bathing ghats, roads, and other places, public places, you can claim that it is violative of Article 15 of the Constitution of India. Likewise, equality of opportunities in matters of public employment. So, in public employment, all persons must have equal rights. They must have equal rights. You can't say that you don't have such right in this particular employment. All are equal. Certain provisions are there giving power to parliament or state to make laws by way of reservations in the employment or in certain other aspects. Then you know about Article 17, which deals with abolition of untouchability. This untouchability is abolished and its practice in any form is forbidden. So this is Article 17. Then Article 18 deals with abolition of titles. Abolition of titles. All titles which were given previously by the British government were abolished. Foreign state title also shall not be accepted by any citizen of India.
Shall we join again, sir?
Yeah. Now we will take next class. We will discuss about right to freedom.